Welcome to Emmanuel Church at this time. How y'all doing, TV Land? Out there, we're having a good time. No, I'm not Doc Rock, but I am going to try to take you to the top. God bless y'all people today. This is our ETI here at Emmanuel Church. Thank y'all guys for tuning in. We're going to have a good time today. We got a good subject we're going to work with. Doc been teaching Rise Up, so we kind of stick with that a little bit, but thank y'all for tuning in. Let me pray first. Father God, I thank you for an anointed day, a great day. Like Doc said, there's no bad days. Every day is great with you. We appreciate that, God, what you do in our life, physically, financially, and what all you do. But just a great God. And we thank you for what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Amen. How is Emmanuel Church doing today? Everybody doing good? Hey, I want to talk about real quick 10 steps needed in achieving success. 10 steps needed in achieving success. I'm going to use one scripture to make sure I tie. These steps work. Mixed in with Doc Rock a little bit. They work for my life. I'm going to use one scripture. Matthew 14 and 32. And I know we don't say turn our Bibles. We just said, hey, turn your cell phone now. But I'm going to talk about that. Matthew 14 through 32. And this is what it says. It's a short scripture as well. It said, when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Steve Jobs addressed Stanford College. His first words was, I am a college dropout. Steve Jobs, y'all know the one that's dying, the one that made the Apple computers. Everybody stood what Steve said, that he was a college dropout. But if you keep listening to what Steve said, he said, but he finished saying he was at a free college class, which made him start the Apple computer. Everybody said Steve Jobs dropped out of college, but they never finished saying that Steve Jobs also ended up at a free college class one day that made him start the Apple computer. There was this millionaire, and I get to the point of success. There was this millionaire who in high school was a misfit. He was unruly. No one liked him. He was a bad kid. Round about the 10th grade, this young man decided to change his life. He tried to do some things with his life. But from 10th to below, he was terrible. The school wanted to kick him out, things of that nature. In the 10th grade, he wanted to change his life. So he got some other friends, and they asked him, they said they're taking a free ACT test. A free ACT test. He said, why not? Why not try it? So he tried the ACT test, came back that he had scored one of the highest score in the school. So everybody was amazed. This same kid that was flunking out of school, not doing good, not doing what he said he was going to do, just decided one day to change his life to take the ACT test. Took it, did well, he was proud. So this time he scored so high that all kind of colleges offered him a scholarship. Got his scholarships. His senior year did successful. Right now, he's one of the top magazine artists in Atlanta. He's a multi-millionaire. The boy is bad. He did great. 10 years later, they called him and apologized to him. They said, you didn't score the highest on the ACT test. Actually, you scored the lowest. They sent him an apology. So success is necessarily what you do. Success is how you think. So he became, and you can look it up, he's one of the biggest ones in Atlanta right now. He took on to himself that when somebody told him how smart he was, he took advantage of it. 10 years later, they called him back and said he scored the lowest on the ACT test. But that he thought that he was successful, he became successful. I'm going to talk about the 10 steps. The scripture that I'm using that's very powerful, Matthew 14:32. If you know what they're talking about, before this happened, I get into the thing. Before this happened, everybody know Peter, what? Walked on water. That's the big thing. He walked on water. But at the time, y'all know Peter fell too as well. And Jesus allowed him to get back into the boat. So Peter successfully got back in the boat. But before that, if y'all read up before that, it talks about when John the Baptist was beheaded. If y'all read the beginning of it. Y'all remember when John the Baptist was beheaded, y'all know that the daughter does dance so lustre to the king that he got beheaded. And she wanted the head of John the Baptist. So come to find out, she got the head of John the Baptist. Jesus was out there. Disciples ran up on Jesus. He said, check this out. John the Baptist has been beheaded. Now, if you keep reading that, you'll see that Jesus was kind of upset about it. No one's talking about this. Because you keep reading, it said at the time when Jesus found out about that, he shunned away to be by himself. Keep reading it. He was by himself. He moved himself out because he heard John the Baptist was beheaded. Well, I understand because John the Baptist was his cousin. I can see that. But Doc got a thing said no bad days. Even Jesus showed us there's no bad days. He beat away for a while, but when he came back, you keep reading that scripture, he started healing. You read that? He fed 5,000. So I'm telling you guys, you can't have no bad days. There's just a good nugget, no bad days. But what I want to talk about is very important is 10 steps that you need to succeed. 10 steps that I use too that are real good. First step, and you can write this down. It's called impossible. Impossible. Your goals should be impossible. Impossible. Your goals should be impossible. The goals you set before yourself should be impossible. You're looking at an impossible goal before you. I left high school with a 1.4 GPA. I'm impossible. Out of 325 people, I was 320. No, not 320 to be valedictorian, salutatory. I was 320 at the end. Matter of fact, on graduation night, I had a Michelob in my hand on the college, it's on high school campus, drinking it. I have an impossible life. My goals today are very impossible. So the goals that were set, that God set for me, they was impossible goals. Matter of fact, it was lined up for me to be an alcoholic just like my granddaddy. That's how my life was going. But you have to have some impossible things. People who know that people who know what they want, have set course of achieving their goals, are generally happier than those that just live life. Let me repeat that. People who set goals before themselves are generally happy than the people who just live life. I don't live life, I set goals. I know I give God the best praise up here. Ain't none of y'all going to outpraise me. Not Doc Rock, not Keith, not Oilers, not Trail. I know you beside me now. Y'all ain't no way y'all happier than me. I know Elder said he praised God better than me, but he can't outpraise me. Because, see, I have impossible goals. Doc get up and teach over and over again, having impossible goals. No one can like grab it, but I have an impossible goal. Deion Sanders, everybody know Deion Sanders. Deion, prime time. Now on the commercials with Nick Saban. Y'all saw the duck commercial. Y'all check it out. Deion the same. Deion is now a coach of an HBCU. His son is the starting quarterback. His other son is the starting D-back. This have never been heard of. Deion is doing some impossible things with these kids. He have changed Jackson State. Deion have started putting their names on the back of their jerseys. HBCUs didn't do that. He have changed. Now watch this. Deion did not change his dress code neither. Deion walks on the field with a bling-bling necklace with shades blowing. Deion hangs with his boys up in the field house singing radical songs with his boys. Deion is in an impossible situation, but he making it possible. The first point you got to know, Deion have set goals to be successful. Deion know how success tastes. He been there before. He know how it is. But everybody's telling Deion, change your method. Deion said, but my goals are different than other people's goals. Point 2. Knowing your weakness when you're trying to reach success. Knowing your weakness. Number 1, impossible. Have impossible goals, which are big goals. Number 2, knowing your weakness. Don't be afraid to fail. Before I say this, watch this. Once you make a decision, the universe coheres together and make it happen. Let me say that again. Once you make a decision, the universe coheres and make it happen. Doc Rock got a slogan he's teaching now, Arise, but he's saying meditate, think about it, ponder it, put it in your heart. If you look on my desk, I do radical things to put on my desk. I always ask God for big money all the time on my desk. You come to my office, you'll see my desk saying, God, I need 10,000. God, I need 15,000. I don't ask God for $100 because I make that already. I make 6 figures already, so $100 ain't doing me no good. I used to ask God for $100. I used to be on my knees saying, God, I need $100. Now, I'm going to leave here and go to Roots Chris tonight. I'm probably going to eat $100 food tonight. I be with Chris on Mondays. I know y'all wait till Friday, but I go on Mondays. I know. I'm the same joker. I'm the same one that sit in this church and can't even eat at a Christopher Roost. See, because I think impossible. So Doc said, meditate on it. He said, punt on it. I know some of y'all went home and didn't do it. I did. I went home and put 25 grand on my, you go on my desk, got 25,000 now. Because I'm punting on them. I'm bringing the universe together. I'm connecting. I know y'all think I'm crazy. I'm connecting it together. Why would I do that? Because if the man of God said punt, it's just going to hurt me to punt on it. It's just going to hurt me to meditate on it. So I get my butt. I get to work early. I sit at my desk. I ponder. I meditate. I tell God, now I have goals where the money is going. I ain't trying to buy a new pair of Gucci's with the money. That ain't my goal. I got right goals where I'm going. So Doc said this. Doc said, punt upon it. If you look at Peter, I like this. I like this. Peter was the outcast one. He the one that was cursing and carried the switchblade and didn't care about cutting up a couple of Negroes or a couple of Caucasians or a couple of Hispanics. He didn't care, or a couple of Latinos or a couple of Jews. He'll pop it out for the case of Jesus. He's the one that stepped out when nobody stepped out. See, you got to be like Peter. Some of y'all love being in the boat. You like these golf balls and ping pong balls. You say if I was a golf ball, I could do better because I'd be on the green. Then if you're a golf ball, you say if I'm a ping pong ball, I could do better because I'd be on the table. To be honest, both of them just in the bag, and they ain't no useless to come out of it. We sit around and complain with each other about if I had this or my dad was here or my mama didn't do this. Yeah, we sit in church and complain. Ask anybody in church, do I complain with them? I ain't got time to complain. God been too good to me. Because what complaint gonna get you? Nowhere. So we like golf balls in a bag or we like tennis balls and we just stuck in a bag and they're no use for nothing till someone allow you to get out the bag. The word dogging is allowing us to get out the bag. So let me go on this other point, my second point. Knowing your weakness, don't be afraid to fail. So often we are taught in our life that failing is a bad thing. Failing is almost placed in odds with success. Yet without failure, fruit would know the way to success. No one ever did it right the first time. No one ever did it right the first time. I was walking on the stage at our other church, and I used to be saying, I'd never be broke another day in my life. I know many was laughing at me. I was broke that day I was walking too. I said, I'd never be broke another day in my life. Y'all remember that's all I said when I think y'all been hearing about 2 years. I never, right now I ain't broke at all. I stand hard and say it. Because they laughed at me because, listen, I wasn't afraid of failure, and I knew my weakness. I knew where I was weak at. I knew what I had to work on, and I knew I could fail at it, John. I wasn't afraid to fall. I knew in order to succeed, I had to fall and deal with my weakness on a daily basis. The Bible said, cast down every imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. What is he saying? All of us got some weakness, and you better work on it. And in your weakness, you gonna fall. That's my second point. Don't be afraid to fall. Don't be afraid to recognize your weak, where you weak at. Some of us hide by it. With Marcia, which is my friend, she know my weakness. She know my weakness. If ain't nobody gonna know your weakness, your spouse better know your doggone weakness, or you need to get a divorce, because y'all ain't gonna make it anyway. Oh, it's ducks in here. Sex is good, but sex don't pay the bills. Now, I like having sex more than you all, but that ain't paying the bill. That's a TV land. That don't pay the bills. I don't care how good it is. If you're in the process, you having good sex, I bet you ain't paying the bill. It pay the bill when you get to go to work. It pay the bill when you know your spouse's weakness, where you can have their back. Well, I don't want to know what my husband went through. Well, you better know what he went through. I can't handle it. Well, y'all been together 30 years. You should be able to handle some of his weakness. I'm so deep. I don't want him to know my weakness. He know him anyway. You crying him out every day. As spouse, y'all better know each other's weakness. I tell my smile so she can pray for me. I know everybody got sex on their mind. It ain't always sex. Some of us can't spell our name. She need to know that so she can help us spell. Some of us can't budget a bebop or a freeze pop. You better tell your wife that's your weakness so she can help you budget that money. It ain't always sex. Some of us just talk too much. You need to help your spouse tell you to shut your mouth. I'm going to talk about that. Some of y'all mouth like running rivers, man. Just talk. Be quiet. Okay. Know your weakness. Let me say this real quick. Know your weakness. I talk about, people laughed at me because I said that, because I had some failures I was dealing with. And I know I did, but I dealt with my failures. I knew my weakness. I know my weakness was going to cause me to fall. See, I remember when we used to come here, and I was like everybody else. I was deep, man. I was saying, Shankana coming on the cord. God gonna bless me. And I was behind the veil. I mean, every time I left, God, smoke left with me. I mean, I could see the smoke. The trail of God was behind me, and I could prophesy of the best, and I could speak in tongues. But I wouldn't deal with my weakness. And I can understand why I was that close to God, but I still was broke. And Doc telling me, brother, you ain't that deep. He didn't say me, but he telling the whole church, you ain't that deep, brother, you ain't that deep. And I found out when I started being deep, I started getting blessed financially. I said, what in the world is going on? Because God blessed rains on the just and unjust. I was so deep, I don't know heaven is good, and earth didn't even want me. And you get into it with your spouses and friends, because you always walking. Pastor Audrey, she ain't deep, but she just calm. She ain't laying hands. It's COVID. Ain't nobody laying hands on your butt to get no disease. 10 steps into receiving success. Impossible, make goals. And my time going good. Know your weakness. Don't be afraid to fail. This again. Next one I want to talk about, take a risk. Third, take a risk. Do something your family did not do. Love it. Yeah, Mike, you're right, Mike. Do something your family did not. It was amazing. It really don't happen in the average family. The average two brothers don't end up the way they end up. Most of the time out of the family you have one brother, but not two brothers going down like the same lane. Me and Doc going down like the same lane. And we and him caught the same thing about our family. We're doing something that our family did not do. I have 3 kids, unheard of, that graduated from high school first on time. Yeah. Went off to college and graduated in 4 years on time. A son that got his master's in a year. And all my kids almost making 6 figures. Including me and my wife. My whole house, all 5, make almost 6 figures. I said, God, you crazy. He said, but you took a risk. He said, you took a risk. When they said HBCs wouldn't make a child great. When they was down at HBCs, that's historical black colleges. I had went to the University of Alabama. Ain't nothing wrong with the University of Alabama. Ain't nothing wrong with a PWI, period. But I took a risk to take my child to HBCUs because I feel that's what's the destiny for my kids. I took a risk. Send my kids, my girls, to a school that costs $40,000 a year, 2 girls. Woke up for 2 years, needing $140,000 plus my son a year. I took a risk. I only had $40 in my pocket at a time, but I was game to take a risk. Because your best investment is your kids. If you don't take a risk, you ain't even hanging with Doc Rock. Doc Rock take risks on a daily basis. Matter of fact, can I be honest with you? The company they got is a risk. They dealing with mentally challenged people. Man, that's a risk. I deal with at-risk youth. That is a risk. You don't know what law you're going to come at you. You don't know what the city going to do to me. We have to be very cautious of what we do. So me and my wife have risked the job, but I love the risk. The risk woke me up in the morning and make us go after what we're going after. You got to take a risk. Helen Keller said it like this. Life is either daring to achieve or nothing at all. That's what Helen Keller said. You got to take a risk. A successful life includes having regrets for not having taken enough risks. Guys, y'all got to take a risk up in here. You've been sitting on that vision, talking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We ain't going to do it. I promise you, if you got one job, you ain't going there for with it. My wife have came up with all kinds of ideas, ever key. And out of 10, all have failed. But that one, that one put that money in the pocket. I tried 10 things, my wife, about the name one. I said, girl, everything you do, fella, is you bad luck, slick rock or somebody. Everything you do, she got 9 projects she came with, and every one of them failed. It cost us money. She came in and said, but I got another idea. You know how she said, buck up, buttercups. I didn't want to buck up. But at the time, I was not a risk taker, but my wife was a risk taker. I said, let's go with this idea. She said, I got an idea that we can make $165 an hour. Woo, I might can take this risk. She said, this is what you got to get your master's in, and this is what I got to get mine in. And she said, we'll do counseling, I'll do it, and we can make that type of money. Y'all know how much counseling they paid now? $200 an hour. Now, she worked for Doc Rock. She can leave and make great money. She got her license and everything. Oh, yeah, we just do a small thing outside. And I'm talking about good money. Matter of fact, she do too many frees for me. Everybody want therapy free. I ain't got the license. I give it free. Y'all got to pay her. But she took a risk. We took a risk. I take a risk with our kids. Y'all got to take a risk. What Doc's saying is take a risk. The vision you got, I don't care if it's washing cars, take a risk. I don't care if it's selling shoes, take a risk. You only got $5 anyway. Spend at least 3 of them on the wrist. Take the other 2 and buy you a burger. But spend 3 on the wrist. Spend the wrist. See something you enjoy besides your job. I know this is your passion. But what else can you do? What else can bring you volume in your house? Me and my wife sometimes work 7 days a week. Doc be talking. We be leaving church. We be working. Holidays, me and my wife be in people's houses. Holidays, Christmas, we was in somebody's house. Thanksgiving, we was in somebody's house. Said a man of God is in the house during these holidays, but I'm taking a risk. You can't just go to bed at 8 o'clock, wake up at 8 and get off at 4 o'clock and watch TV all the day. Man, come on. Have you saw enough shows? If you know every night show to come on, you in trouble already. You get off of work. You get off of work, and I'm on my 4th one. You get off of work. You go home and watch TV all day long. Only thing you do is, I don't know where God had blessed me. Because you watched it, he did. He blessed you with a TV. That's why you're watching it. That's how you're going to get us a TV. I know I ain't deep. But I'm going to tell you these steps work. Now, I'm telling you, these steps work. So take a risk. Let me keep going. Take a risk. It said, this I like this, the fourth one. Don't stop learning. That's the 4th one. Don't stop learning. Do whatever it takes to learn. Y'all notice when Doc Rock's teaching, I'm quiet. Plain I can't hear. And he keeps saying, say it again. Shut up, man. I can't hear you. Be quiet. I'm just joking. I'm always learning. So I don't question what Doc Rock teach. I don't try to figure out what he's saying right or wrong. Whether my spirit say right or wrong, my spirit say he right. Because if I question what Doc Rock teaching, I never do what he want me to do. And I never get where I need to be. So if I start questioning what he's teaching, I don't need to be at Emmanuel Church. be at a place that I don't question what he teach me new, and I'm learning on a consistent basis. Now, I understand what he teach me. I might have never heard of it, but I don't put in my mind he wrong what he teaching. Because if I put in my mind he's wrong what he's teaching, I'm never going to get what he's teaching, and I'm never going to learn what he's teaching. If I don't learn what he's teaching, I'm going to be the same person for 20 years sitting in this church. So I became to myself, I would never stop learning. Not just Doc Rock. Whoever is up here teaching, I receive what they're saying as a learning experience at church. Because, see, I need to learn before I holler. I ain't always been this way. I want to holler then learn, but it didn't work that way. Because really I want to shout out my problems, and God said it ain't going to work. I realized the only way to get rid of your problems to learn information is to help you, Elder Keith. So we can cry, fall on the floor, wipe snot, and throw oil all over you. But when you wake up, you got to learn. A lot of people say learn from your mistakes. So when Doc is teaching, I am learning. I got no problem with the hooping. I have no problem with that. But that's not the lane I'm in. I know every now and then Doc might hoop a little bit, but I prefer Doc not to hoop. I prefer because I'm sitting in a classroom. Oh, yeah, I know as African Americans, we don't like to sit in the classroom a lot, and I've been there because I hated sitting in classrooms, and I ain't want to sit and learn jack because that's not our culture. We are hyper people, so our culture is not sitting and learning. They asked me with Brandon Watkins, my son, because he got ADHD like his dad. I still got ADHD like his dad. We are hyper. They said, how is Brandon going to sit in the classroom? I said, Dad Rod, that staff will strengthen him. He will learn to sit in that classroom. He did good. So learning, I ain't got long. Learning, you got to, when you're learning, what you have to do, you have to sit, never stop learning. Let me go on. It said the most you know, the more you realize you don't know. Formal education is just a scratch on the surface and a drop in the captivity of learning. Knowledge, no matter how much you get, or it may appear to be, giving us a reason to get more out of the bed, getting us to get more out of bed in the morning. In other words, get knowledge, wake us up. And I got to rush. Get knowledge, wake us up. It said make it a habit to learn something every day. Make it a habit to learn something every day. Next one, number 5. You are the best you. Do not settle for anything. You are the best you. Do not settle for anything. Steve Jobs said this in my time winding. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. If you haven't found the pot of gold now, keep looking at the rain because the rainbow coming, baby. Just don't settle for anything. And to the women that's single, don't settle for that knucklehead. That joker is a knucklehead. And to the men that's single, don't settle for that thought. She is a thought. That's what she is. She look like a thought. She walk like a thought. She is a thought. Don't settle for them. And I hope my kids watching. I got a boy and a girl. Don't settle. Success is a process, not an event. Some goals might take overnight. Others require more time, energy, and alignment of the planet. God is always aligning it up for you. So some process, success, not like events. Some goals may happen overnight. Others require more time, energy, and alignment of the planet. So some things you do going to take longer. You know why? Because of you or me. Give you an example and I'll get to it. Before I got the job I'm at now making 6 figures, I stayed at a job for 10 years making $30,000. They say there's no way a person can jump from $30,000, no way you're going to get almost a $60,000 jump. They say it's impossible. On the job I was on, an opportunity came for me to get that jump on that job before I got the job I got. So I was working, and a job opportunity came in. I was jumping about from 35 to almost 80. They would give it to me. They said, ain't no way no little African-American boy, you ain't gonna make that much money in this city. And they would give it to me. Now, watch this. But I am the best me. I didn't sell them. So they had a sign outside that said what I'm gonna be at this job. It was exactly what the job I'm going to get. So I asked for the sign outside. And my supervisor above me laughed at me. He said, we're not giving you the job, Brandon. Why do you want the sign? I had to take the sign because I can let him settle me. I can let him put me in a position that I knew God had something great. He says, no other job in the city that you can get where my God in heaven must be to create one. Because I just want the sign. So I took the sign, took it home and hung it in my garage for 10 years. Let me get to the next one. I got the hair up. I did it for 10 years. As I walked in my garage, Cottrell, I saw that sign. I said, they're going to invent a job for me, Keith. I said, I can't get salad. I said, I know what he said to me. I know my old supervisor said, we're not going to let you jump $40,000. Well, God is a jumping God. Multiplies. So I just was so crazy, I trusted. I mean, people say you're crazy. You done lost your mind. I think God can do it. I'll get to that. Cap. 6, you must sacrifice before anybody. And I'm winding down. You must sacrifice before anybody. 6, you must be the first one to sacrifice. With your vision, you sacrifice. Don't make nobody else sacrifice for your vision, Cottrell. Not even your wife. You sacrifice. Pastor, your vision, don't make Dr. Rock sacrifice. You sacrifice for your vision. Your clothing thing, you get him to put the work in. He can help you, but you put the work in. Because that's your vision, that's your baby. Matter of fact, he can't put the clothes up like you. He ain't no hang them right. They just ain't going to be hung right because they ain't hung like Pastor Arjun want them. He put them up. No. Now, you can bring them in, but I got to put the clothes up. It's a certain way I want to look. That's your baby. Marcia can't do DUIs like me. I don't go to Marcia's job, tell her how she run her job. That's Doc Rock and Mike and Pastor Arjun's job. She talked to me, we cool, and she don't come to my job telling me how I run my job. You don't know my job vision. I love you. You can give me some advice, but you don't know how I want to do my staff. Just how you do your staff that way, but this is how I want to do my staff. You'll be the first one to sacrifice every time. Talking about that, and I go to the next one. It says in life, we're constantly pulled in many directions. Family, work, school, faith, community. It's impossible to give attention to all the things. It's impossible to give attention to everybody. So you sacrifice for yourself. You take out time. I ain't saying don't come to church now. That ain't what I see. I ain't saying don't come to church, TV land. Let me rush it up. They laughed at me because I put that sign in my garage. I was sitting at my old job, and another job came up. Matter of fact, this job was even 15,000 more. And a job came, but a year before that, I had went to this job and sit in every room. And Marcia prophesied to me. And I thought she was retarded. I thought she was crazy. Crazy. And she said, yeah, crazy. She said, God said, wait a year. That was 9 years. I said, you lost your mind? The application is up. They want me to sign this application for this job. She said, God said you got to wait a year. I said, man, it's like you're prophesying, man. You got a good job, man. You trying to hold her brother down. Cottrell, she want to make good money, but she don't want a brother. I want the good money too. And God said, heed to your wife. I went to the building by myself because I was working for the building. I was doing part-time with them. Sit in every seat. Then I sit in the director's seat. And I said, it ain't it. I came back and told my wife, so I go to the next one. I came back and told my wife, that's not yet. A year later, it was the 10th year. I went into the office and sit in the director's seat. I said, now it's time. I leaned back. They changed the job 15,000 more because I waited a year. I waited a year, and I got 15,000 more than I asked. It went through the paper. Everybody was tripping about the paper. They said I couldn't, I wouldn't, they ain't gonna get the right votes. They went on. Then one of my mentors stood up before me. I'll never forget it. One of my mentors, my old mentors back in the day, went one-on-one with me. It was like David and the Goliaths. They put us in the paper, face to face. I looked at them with the Vegas. I said, watch David take Goliath down. When I got back home, before I got back home, they called me in Vegas and gave me an offer when I wasn't even home. I looked at David because I saw Goliath again. I looked at Goliath and said, I told you, that's how good God is. So what I did, because I said a mentor, I dropped that mentor. This number 7. I dropped that mentor. You hear me? Dropped like a bad habit on a Saturday before I watched the ball game. 7, I got the hair up. 7, find someone great to be your mentor. Find someone great to be. Now watch this. Now I said this about him. Because I ain't have too many white friends. No, I didn't. I didn't. I got a few of them. Doc got a lot of them. Me and Pastor Art got a couple. started watching this cat from far off and started paying attention to him. So this white cat became my mentor without me even talking to him. I started watching Mike Brazier. I started watching how him and Doc Fellowship. Started watching how he get along with black people. He became a mentor so I can get along with Caucasian people. From afar, I didn't even tell Mike till a while back that he was one of my mentors. I watch him now. I pay attention to him now. He don't know that I still pay attention to him. He's a CCO. There's so many of them. The best mentor is a person that's above you. I'm a director. Don't find nobody to be your mentor that's lower than you. Why you can't, your mentor, listen, your mentor can't wake up every day and cut grass for a living, and you trying to become a director. It just ain't go. I ain't talking about having his own lawn service. I'm talking with a ride lawnmower every Saturday out there. That can't be your mentor. And I got to rush. I found me a great mentor. Doc talks about it all the time. I got to rush. Right quick, I got 3 more. It said the best way to achieve success and limit failure to work with someone that's always got your back or down the road. Doc talked about I love it. Talk about the kingpin rooster, the chicken and the eagle. It's the best story in the world. The kingpin rooster. Y'all get that's the best in the chicken and the eagle. It talks about the kingpin rooster. Couldn't fly no higher than the bird in y'all business, but he's the kingpin. He's the top of top. Some of y'all top of top you need to get rid of because to everybody else, they bottom of bottoms. Some of y'all mentors are sorry. Why y'all think I got Doc Rock Mike? I got the other guy coming out of church. I be calling him Daniel. I know Daniel smart, but that joker smart. Y'all got to find you a good mentor. The chicken mentor was the pimp out rooster. His mentor was the rooster. The rooster was different, but he couldn't fly no higher. Y'all better get this story. The rooster was doing his best. But the eagle looked at him and said, man, you're an eagle. He said, but I see the chicken and the rooster. Man, look at your role models, man. Stop. Who is your closest friend? You just like them. Doc said you're number 6. You 6 and 7 sometime. Get a good mentor. They always have to be spiritual, y'all. Get a mentor that's going where you're going. If you want to bake cakes, don't call me to be your mentor because I burn up cakes. When Jesus went and looked for fishermen, he went and looked for fishermen. So why are you doing something looking for the wrong mentor? Look for a mentor that's in your field. Marcia is one of my mentors. My wife is one of my mentors. My wife is a big mentor to me. Huge mentor. We have a meet. Me and Marcia have a meet every morning. Not because I want to, because I had to. Because I had to. If you're watching this, Marcia, I got to. I ain't got no choice. We have a meeting every morning. And we're going to have another when we leave here today. I meet with my wife all day about something. We discuss finance. We discuss where we going. Where we at. Y'all, you're on the island by yourself. It's not going to work. You got to find people to help you, guys. All right, you think you deep. You're so deep, God's just going to talk to you. He's talking to you, but he's not coming down. He got people he's using. Guys, you got to find your mentor. And find one that's greater than you. Or at least equal with you. There are plenty that can go wrong when you travel down the road of success. That's why you need a mentor. One of the biggest things that happened when I was looking for success, when I was praying my time trying to do well, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. I was at the jail teaching, doing what I do. I was headed to the jail. My wife called me. She said, I got some bad news. I'm in Birmingham. Said, I want to tell you on the phone. I said, what is it? Said, we got news that Zoe might have cancer. I go teach the people in the jail. I ask them to pray for me. I get in the car and head to Birmingham. I walked into Birmingham. They grabbed me. Time I come through the door. And they kept me in a room by myself before I see Zoe. I only want to see Zoe. They kept me in a room before I see Zoe. And they said this to me as a social worker. They looked at me and said, can you handle this? I said, what is it? They said, your daughter is going to die. I'm at the prime of my life. I'm on number 7. Got to get mentor. I'm doing what's right. I'm paying my tithes. I'm helping kids. When you go down the road of success, there are going to be some failures and problems. It's going to be plenty. I know Pastor Archer did not want to be in a hospital on her 50th birthday. You don't miss it, y'all. It happens. I did not want to hear that my baby girl was diagnosed with cancer. I did not want to hear that she's going to die. Before I even saw my baby girl, they pulled me in the room and said she would not live. And to top it off, they gave me a doctor who was not even saved. He looked me and told me I don't believe in God. And my wife said, well, we're going to try to call somebody else. She called around. He was the best doctor around here. I looked at God and said, you got to be crazy. Don't matter what you're doing. Guys, it's going to happen. Hiccups, headaches, it's all going to happen. I don't care how deep you are. I don't care how close you are with God. Situations going to come. It's a daily thing. But did they stop me first from doing my job with the young people? Did they stop me from believing that God can't heal her? It still didn't stop me. Matter of fact, I got up at the lady's face. I said, well, she shall live. I said, I did this thing. I said, I wouldn't bury my daughter. My daughter would bury me. And today, my daughter's healed. 10 years later, life is going good. Why? I did not let that stop me. 4 minutes, I keep going. Number 8, shut up and listen. I like to listen. I have learned greater deals from listening carefully. Most people never listen. This one for me, this was my biggest problem right here. Me, in my 3 minutes. I had to learn to shut up and listen. You don't know everything, son. Son, you don't know everything. Shut up and listen. It said, learn and shut up and listen. It said, learn to work with other race. Listen, y'all, money is green. Learn to work with all race, y'all. Come on, y'all. I can't even work with white people. Man, come on. I can't work with Hispanic. Come on, y'all. Man, learn to work with people. I'm at a job now that I'm doing some hiring. I have hired whites. I have hired blacks. I have hired Hispanics. I had to learn to work with all race. And to all us in here, ain't none of us been in slavery, and you ain't getting that money back, whatever they call it. What we trying to get back? You ain't getting that back. It's enough that the people out of work right now because they're getting the money. Whatever it's called, PPP, PJJ, or whatever it is, they sit at home, and they paying $30 an hour at McDonald's and still can't get them out of work at McDonald's. Now, ain't that a trip? $15 an hour. Man, society's going crazy. They don't want to work. They want to sit at home, draw a check, and double food stamps. But I'm going to give you a newsflash. They going to get you because they going to put it all from you. I'm just telling you it's a setup. Let me keep going. I got 2 minutes. I got to get out of here. Once again, learn to listen. Please listen. Learn to work with other races. Other races. Work with other races. Work with other races. I don't care if you don't like their way. That's their ways. You got ways. I got ways too. I told my staff, they understand me. I said, I know many of y'all think I'm arrogant. They look, because one left today. I was glad she left too. Yeah. Okay, one left on her own. She probably watching it, but she good. Before I fired her. I stood and said, many of y'all think I'm arrogant, don't you? They said, yeah. I said, I look so good. If there's errors in the room, y'all still pay attention to me. Y'all do know there's errors. Most handsome man in the world. Oh, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you don't think that about yourself. So if don't nobody think I look good, I better thank you. My staff paused. I said, that's how you feel? Oh, I got dressed on purpose this morning. Every time I get dressed, I dress to look good. I dress to get all the attention when I walk in a room every time. They call my family the Lion family. If me and my family walk in the mall, we walk like we taking over. If me and my family go play golf, we take over. If we go kick rocks, we take over. Wherever we go, me and my family, we take over. If my kids don't want to take over, I leave their butts at home. Because the only thing I need is take over people. Because if you ain't taking over, you can took over yourself or took under. 9, I'm about done in a minute. Network. You have to learn people. You have to learn that people will forget what you say. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how they feel about you. Last one, I'm gone. Silent moves are very important. I'll talk about that later. Making silence move. I'm at a place now I want to call, and my time winding down. I got one point. I'm getting an opportunity to move, and I won't go into details. I'm getting an opportunity to move. And I was all in the paper because I'm moving. They said, they said, they ain't had nobody, and I ended with this one right quick. They ain't had nobody to kind of move, that lived in the city, move out the city. They had a few people, I can say this, they had a few people who had been outside the city to move in, but they ain't have nobody that was in the city. They said, why we don't want you to move? Because you got one of the biggest salaries. So they don't want you to move because they want my tax dollars. And they had me like balls in a bag. I said, I can't be balls in a bag. I got to learn how to bounce around. So what I done, instead of me getting mad and cussing him out and stuff like that, I said, okay, I understand. I said, but I want to present to you guys that I want to move. My 10th point, what I did was I read, wrote. So I started reading about how it works. Can I move outside the city? I started learning what they need to do. I read, wrote. You need to read, you need to write, you need to read, you need to write. You want to learn what you see. You want to learn what you write. Write down things. Quit just using the cell phone. Write down things. You see what you write, you write. So I started learning. I started writing. I started finding out information. So they had me in a ball in the bag. So they said I could move. It can't be done. So I started learning myself. And I said to myself, yes, I can. They said, it won't happen. Well, I'm building a house in Madison from ground up right now. Oh, she nice too. How did it happen? What happened? What happened? I had 10 principles that make me successful. And I believed in them. I use them daily. They work. Now I got the best one I'm working with now that's blowing everybody's mind. Doc is saying something simple. Meditate. Meditate. I'm working on this house. Finna sell my house. Are y'all coming over and have a good party? This is the thing that's ain't in it. God just ain't gonna give it to you. You got to work hard for it. You're dealing with 2 boys that their mama had them as a teenager. We hood rats. Even though Doc is a hood rabbit, I'm a hood rat. He a hood rabbit, I'm a hood rat. And I'm finna go in these 2 minutes, Doc. But one thing me and Doc got in common. We both do these points. We both do crazy things. We knew what Johnny May did, but that ain't stop us. We knew what our granddaddy did, but that didn't stop us. We even let y'all remind us sometimes so you can know where we're going. I was in a meeting, and I got ready to tell my testimony among people. And I was in a meeting with the people in this area. I wrote big meeting with the big hat people of the city. Let me say that. I was in a meeting with the big hat people of the city. And they was complaining about how I was treating my staff so good. I was buying them lunch, Mike. I was buying gifts for them. And they was like, no, you can't give away. It was going against what I believe, going against my giving. I stood up to give my testimony. One of the big hat guys said, I'm tired of hearing your testimony. I said, what? You call yourself a Christian? He said, I'm tired of hearing your testimony. Brandon, every time you get around us, because these are your stuck-up people. These are your sedated people. These are the people. I said, well, I'm still going to give it. I'm going to talk about where I came from. I'm going to tell you a story about Johnny May and tell you why I'm here. What am I saying to y'all guys? Sometimes you have to give God the glory. And I'm not going to give God the glory. That's why I gave my testimony. That's why I'm standing here telling you, not bragging what God did to my life, telling you what God can do in your life. He will do it if you just work these 10 steps. God bless you. God keep you. God bless you. TV Land. I think we sign out right now. God bless y'all. Glad y'all paid attention to it. I'm not being bold or arrogant at all. I just know what God got for my life. The same thing God got for me, he got for you. I came from nothing. I'm something now. God will always bless you. Y'all want to give, you can give. Is it a Cashapp? Doc, you cut me? I'm over. Oh, God bless y'all. Y'all give another God in the hand. God bless y'all. Have a good night.